Hey, everybody, and welcome to PHYST. Pastor, have you seen this? That's our funny little acronym that only occurred to us after we had named this segment, which is basically the pastors of Allen Creek Community Church commenting on internet content, stuff that has to do with God, the Bible, Christianity. So here we are. Let's go for it. And by the way, if you want to send something in, we'll comment on it. Just send it to social@ac3.org, and we'll be happy to maybe spark a conversation for you. So without further ado, let's look at this one, which is titled Men Now. Oh, I see where this is going. Oh, oh, wow. Yeah. Men then. Yeah. Yeah. Small contrast. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So, yeah, okay, so what's interesting is I guess they're finding that biologically testosterone levels are dropping by half each new generation, which seems to me like, aren't we going to hit zero really soon? I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I have heard that my dad has a much higher level of testosterone than my generation. He has less than my grandfather, his father. So, and I guess they're scrambling to figure out what's going on. Is it something in the air, in the water, literally? What is going on? Is it a selection pressure? I don't know. But here's a funny, I guess, is it funny? Is it tragic? It's like so showing all these males who are look like furries, identifying as animals, identifying as women, dressing as women, feminizing themselves. So yes, that is the world that we're living in, I guess. So from a Christian perspective, the question we're asking is this incredible rise in men and women, frankly, identifying uh, in much more of a spectrum of gender expression, is that just something that now we always wanted to do, but now we feel free to do? In other words, is it a biologically driven thing that had been suppressed by societal pressure, and now with the much more open society, people are free to identify as a cat? Looks like that's what this guy looks like. Identify as a cat or a 6-year-old girl or whatever. Or is this driven at least in part by social contagion? And wow, I mean, I think that the numbers cannot possibly support a biological basis for the phenomena. I just can't. Which I guess goes back to this idea that sex and sexuality is phenomenally driven by expectations, modeling, and and formation. And so that if your formative influences are very, very different, you're going to get very, very different sexual expression, and that is a result of social factors as opposed to biological ones. What is acceptable for how men behave was radically different in the Roman Empire than it was in, let's say, Western Europe in the 1700s. And social pressures had almost everything to do with that. So I think it puts a bit of the lie to this idea that we're only formed by our inner self, our DNA, and all that kind of stuff. I think that we are massively formed by influences and expectations and acceptable cultural conditions. And I think this shows it. Now, is it always healthy to have much more rigid cultural expectations for gender roles and that sort of thing? Well, I think the assumption is always that that's bad, but I think then the pendulum might be swinging back. And have we lost something if we could, have lost in some sense some of the gender binary and some of the beauty and the truth and the goodness of some things that were classically masculine and then classically feminine? And perhaps we have. If we no longer have men that are capable of providing, no longer have men that are capable of protecting, which are classically masculine roles, then we might be in trouble. Just saying. I don't want this guy to defend my country with the next Nazi invasion. That's all I'm saying. All right. So maybe you got a comment on that and put it in the comments and we can start a conversation about what's happening with men now versus then. We'd love to talk about that and what the Bible maybe has to say about it. Until next time, we'll see you here on Pastor Have You Seen This?